Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of our Gridiron Football Player of the Week show. I'm your host, Jace Luzerne, and Sophie, you left me by myself last week.
I know. I'm sorry. Had to go back for Thanksgiving break, or what was that? Fall break?
Fall break.
Had to go home.
So you have like fall break, and you have like Thanksgiving break, and Christmas break, and like
spring
all
break.
kind of spring break. So too many breaks in there, I guess,
Never
for
too
y'all.
many.
Never
too
that's
many.
True. You can't have too many breaks. But Sophie Gitchell, thanks for coming back.
Of course.
Now I'm banning us and just like, I guess Jace got this from now on. But yeah, I mean, you actually went to watch some Texas football back
I
into your alma
did.
mater. So tell me a little bit about that before we get the show started.
It was what we call War of the Woods, the
Mhm.
Woodlands High School versus the Woodlands College Park High School. I went to College Park,
Okay.
and it went into double overtime, but we ended up winning.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
It was a good game.
Big rivalry game there, right?
Oh, yeah. Stands were packed. It was sold out like a week before the game even happened.
Wow, that's insane. And she was showing me like the pictures of the stadium. I was like, that's a college stadium. That's not like even a high school stadium. So
Hey, it's
pretty cool.
Texas.
Yeah,
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Yeah, everything's bigger in Texas except the Player of the Week results has been
know.
Louisiana so
I know.
far.
I'm like, come on, Texas. You got to show up.
Absolutely. Well, Sophie, let's go into it. We're going to have our 15 nominees for Gridiron Football Player of the Week for Week 7. It's pretty crazy. We're already kind of flying by through
know.
everything. So there's only 10 regular season weeks. We'll do playoffs as well. But yeah, I mean, you only have a couple more opportunities. So appreciate everybody that's voted, that's donated to our cause as well. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure to like us, hit the subscribe button, like us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, wherever you're watching this. We're on all our social media channels. So if you haven't followed us, it takes about 0.2 seconds to do that. Just press follow, press subscribe, and like and share. Make sure we had as many people watching us as possible. So thank you to everybody that's donated. Thank you to everybody that has voted. All the donation votes, I keep on saying this, but we have to repeat it. But all the donation votes, everything's going towards a Gridiron Football All-American Bowl game at the end, so we can continue to promote young student athletes just like these guys we're promoting on the show today. Not just the winner, we're promoting everybody that has been in the running this week for the voting. All right, Sophie, let's go get right into it. Week 7 Gridiron Football, our top 15, and let's kick off the list with number 15, Sophie.
Alrighty, number 15, we've got the Willow School running back Mark Rhodes Jr. with 7 votes.
Yeah, the Willow School is having a really good year this year under Coach J.J. Smith. And actually Alex, who was writing stuff with us for Gridiron Football, he interviewed Coach before the season. And it's guys like this, like Mark Rhodes Jr., that has him really excited about the season. 15 carries, 305 yards, 4 touchdowns. They won the football game 36-24 over Acadiana Renaissance. So Mark Rhodes, 305 yards, that's a pretty good average. You only touched the ball 15 times, so I'm not great at math. That's a pretty good average right there, yards per carry. And you score 4 touchdowns on your 15 touches. So, yeah, the 4 touchdowns alone would have been good enough to be Acadiana Renaissance. So, great performance there. This is a running back skill position heavy week this week. I'm just going to say not a lot of defensive guys this week. There's been a lot of the offensive guys this week, and Mark Rhodes is the guy that kicks this thing off at number 15 with a great performance.
Alrighty, for number 14, we have Holy Cross running back Kieran Smith with 7 votes.
Yeah, they both had 7 votes. I'm going to give like the tie. Tie goes to the runner. Now they're both running back. So what's the next tiebreaker, Jace? Well, the next tiebreaker after that is I'm going to just lean towards Kieran Smith's performance, just barely at number 14, because of what he was able to do in the Catholic League against Warren Easton. Kieran Smith is one of the best running backs in the state of Louisiana from Holy Cross, and he's basically the bell cow in this offense. And you are the bell cow when you score all 6 touchdowns in the football game for the team. So you're going to give him the football a whole lot. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out because he's pretty good. Let's give him the football, right? Mm-hmm. 266 total yards, 224 on the ground, 42 receiving, and like I mentioned earlier, scored all 6 touchdowns for Holy Cross in the 42-29 win over a really good Warren Easton football team. So great performance for it's definitely about the ground attack so far, Sophie.
Oh,
Two
yeah.
running backs so far. We're talking about the list, and Kieran Smith is a pretty good one. You haven't seen him play yet.
Alrighty, next one isn't a running back.
Okay, no running back. So
Not a running back this time. But for number 13, we've got White Oak in Texas. Athlete Jackson Ludlow with 9 votes.
Yeah, his dad, Michael, was a coach at White Oak High School. And so, yeah, I think he knows better than anybody what his son Jackson can do, right? And he's a quarterback for the team, but he kind of does everything. And when we talk about the stat line, it's all over the place. So you probably need to write a book about how his stat line was this week. So running the ball, so he can do that too. 20 carries, 178 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So that's rushing the football. He's a quarterback, so he can also throw the football. He completed 10 of 17 passes for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns throwing the ball.
Wow.
Not to mention, they threw it to him too. So he caught 2 passes. So 2 catches for 27 yards as well. He also plays defense, Sophie.
Oh, all right.
So that continues. 4 tackles, 2 TFLs, 1 pass breakup. And guess what? He also punts. He punts the football too. 3 punts, averages 44.3 yards per punt. And they won the game in a close one, 41-34 of Sabine High School. So, yeah, he can do a little bit of everything.
He did everything. I don't think there's a single thing that kid didn't do.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I mentioned, the joke I always say, right? He probably brings them to the game. He probably drives the bus. He probably drives them back. He probably handles all the water. Like, I mean, he does probably everything. Maybe even calls a couple plays every now and then.
You never know.
You never know. It was a one-man band, right? But Jackson, congratulations, man, on the great performance. And, yeah, we had a Texas guy. It looks like we're going to another Texas guy. It's a big name in Texas, too, at number 12.
You're right there. Number 12, we've got DeSoto. Wide receiver Ethan Feister with 16 votes.
Ethan Feaster, that's right.
Feaster,
Ethan
I'm so
Feaster.
sorry.
No, you're good. That's why I'm here. Help you out, Sophie. You're doing a great job. DeSoto, Texas, wide receiver Ethan Feaster. He's a big name. He's actually committed to play for USC, so for the Trojans up there. So he is a great player, so great, in fact. He is actually graduates in 2027, but he actually reclassified, so he moved up a grade up.
Oh.
So he's actually graduating this year. So 2026 wide receiver Ethan Feaster. And let's just say if he's going to play for the USC Trojans, he's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that pretty much sells it right there. 6 catches, 231 yards, 2 touchdowns. They won the football game 57-30 over Mesquite Horn High School in Texas. He's one of the best playmakers out there in the entire country, not just in the state of Texas. DeSoto has been a state championship, a national type of power in the state of Texas. And when you throw it to a football player like that, and Ethan Feaster, usually good things happen. It's like, as that saying goes, well, if he's not open, he's open. You still throw it to him. So
He'll make it happen.
yeah, you make it happen. Big players make big time plays, and he does that. So future USC Trojan, Ethan Feaster, making things happen. Could be in the running for Player of the Year at the end of the year. So you never know. But Ethan Feaster, we have back-to-back guys in the state of Texas. Sophie, back in your home state.
Hey, it's the best state known to man.
We'll see about that.
Alrighty, for number 11, we've got Ascension Catholic running back Trevin Simon with 55 votes.
To be honest with you, Sophie, that probably would have been my vote this week.
Really?
Yeah, Trevin Simon was phenomenal this week for Ascension Catholic. You actually saw him play against Dunham. That was the game that we were at earlier this year. And Trevin Simon he had to replace Chad Elsie, who actually played in our bowl game last year, and he set all kinds of records over there at Ascension Catholic. You're kind of wondering, okay, what you're going to do there at the running back position. Well, Trevin Simon just comes in, and he actually beats one of Chad Elsie's records in this game. So he had 34 carries, 519 yards rushing is a school record. So round of applause for Trevin. record-breaking performance. We have to applaud for record-breaking performances. 519 yards, a school record, 7 touchdowns running the football, and a 57-35 win over St. John. St. John's been putting up some points. Just it's been tough defensively, but you played against North Iberville. Now you played against Ascension Catholic too. But 519 yards. If you're running for 519 yards in the season, that's not too bad. He did that in a football game, in one game alone. So the stats this year are pretty insane. We talk about Trevin Simon, his performance this year, and why he's been so effective. And it seems like every year at Ascension Catholic, no matter what the situation is, they're going to have somebody back there you can hand the football off to, and Trevin Simon is another one.
Awesome. Alrighty, for number 10, we go back to Texas.
Oh, okay. All right.
Winsboro wide receiver Camden Capehart with 60 votes.
Yeah, talk about speed. I mean, he's that track elite speed, Camden Capehart. In fact, that speed impressed Mississippi State so much, that's where he's actually committed to. He's committed to play in the SEC, committed to play for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. And talk about a perfect performance. Like this, I had this up there too. He had 4 catches in the football game. I was like, okay, all right. What you do with those 4 catches? Well, all you did was have 149 yards, and you scored all 4 touchdowns. So every catch he had in the football game went for a touchdown. So talk about perfect performance there.
That was perfect.
I don't think it can be better than that.
4 for 4.
4 for 4. Yeah, it's like 4 for 4 with 4 home runs. Like you're absolutely perfect. I don't think you can play any better than that. And he did that only in one half. So this wasn't even a full game. This was like first half. Oh, we've seen what you're able to do. Like go grab a hot dog or something.
We gotta give someone else a chance.
Give somebody else a chance. Have a nice seat. Your damage was done. So they won the football game 66-21 over Rains High School. 60 votes coming in at number 10, but. Yeah, that performance says it all. I mean, you catch the football 4 times, score 4 touchdowns. You can't be any better than that.
True. Nice
day in the park. I don't think you can do that in practice. 4 catches for 4 touchdowns like that. So that's pretty impressive.
Alrighty, for number 9, we've got Church Point wide receiver Jerrison Reese with 177 votes.
Yeah, Jerrison's been on this list a couple of times this year on the Player of the Week list. I know we invited him to play in our bowl game at the end of the year, and we're looking forward to hopefully having him play in our bowl game at the end of the season. They did lose this football game, but like we mentioned, we're not afraid to award individual performances and losses. And the winner last week, lost in his game, so you just never know. But Jerrison Reese did whatever he could to help his team win. He had 10 catches, 244 yards receiving, and 3 touchdowns receiving. He also ran the ball 5 carries, 69 yards, and another touchdown. So 4 total touchdowns in the football game, over 300 yards of all-purpose yards of offense. It was a high-scoring game. They lost 43-33 to Northwest, but Northwest is a pretty good football team as well. So yeah, he did whatever he could. I mean, you account for 400 yards close to 400 yards of offense and 4 touchdowns. That's pretty good. You did your part in trying to help your team there.
Alrighty, for number 8, we've got Plaquemine quarterback Brennan Miles with 221 votes.
Sophie, we actually saw Brennan up close and personal at our camp earlier this offseason at Louisiana Christian University, which will be the host of our bowl game at the end of the year. But he was awarded the top quarterback at the camp. So the LCU coaches really like him. He's a big baseball guy, big quarterback, and the Plaquemine Green Devils have a really good shot this year at making a run at the Superdome. I really, truly believe that. And Brennan Miles is a new quarterback, but really talented after seeing him play in their camp earlier this year. And he's showing it on the football field now. So it looks like that momentum is carried over from his camp performance to now. He completed 17 of 25 passes, 256 yards, and this is the reason why he's on the list. 6 touchdown passes. So he threw for 6 touchdowns and a 53-21 win over St. Michael, a district opponent. This was a district matchup, and
awesome.
So this gives him a upper upper hand in terms of trying to get that district championship at the end of the year. But Brendan Miles, yeah, great performance there, and I think with another year, he's only a 2027 quarterback. You're going to see the best is yet to come for him. So great performance there for Brennan, and when they get that passing game going and he's on his game, Blackman's really hard to beat.
Alrighty, for number 7, we've got Liberty Magnet quarterback Bryce Preston with 600 votes.
This was definitely the biggest shocker of the week in Louisiana high school football this past week, and actually talked to Jimmy Zachary, who won this football game. He actually coached from the sideline. He wasn't coaching in the sidelines in this game because other things are going on, but they still won this football game over a Zachary football team that's been a powerhouse in Louisiana, and Liberty's just trying to get that going, right? But what you're trying to do in your first year, you gotta pick up to help buy the rest of the team and get the team invested in what you want to do. Well, get a big win over Zachary, and that is what they did. Bryce Preston was a big reason for that. Bryce Preston completed 9 of 15 passes for 184 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also ran the ball 9 times for 133 more yards and 4 touchdowns. So 317 total yards of offense, 6 total touchdowns, and they won the football game 53-21. Really impressive over Zachary. That's been a powerhouse, and if you told me Liberty won the football game, I would have been shocked. But for them to win a football game by that score is even more shocking. And when you have a quarterback play that well in Bryce Preston, that's a big reason why. I know I talked to Coach Zachary on our Ball in the Boot show. He mentioned how great of a performance his quarterback had in that football game, and we definitely had to include him in the voting this week for how good he really was in that game. And when he can get going too, Liberty is also a very dangerous football team because he is an athletic quarterback, and you see what kind of damage he can do when he's got it going, and he definitely got it going on Friday night.
That's impressive for sure. All right, we've got number 6. Jennings, wide receiver and DB, Gerald Watson with 795 votes.
I gotta give a shout, Sophie, to Miss Naomi Abear. She's always commenting about my son needs to be in the Gridiron Football Player of the Week discussion every single week. Guess what, Miss Naomi? He's finally in here. He's finally in at number 6. No, he's another guy we've also invited to play in our bowl game at the end of the year too. But yeah, he's finally in here. Didn't win, but he got up there on the list. But Gerald is a two-way guy, plays wide receiver, defensive back, but he did his damage running the football, actually. That's kind of makes this unique. He had 158 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Also on defense, had 7 tackles on defense. He did this all in one half of football because they were able to pull away, just like the guy we had earlier, 55-14 over South Beauregard. So Jennings able to get a win. Jennings is playing a lot better. It seems like they've been on the roll the last couple of weeks. And Gerald Watson's playing some really good football right now. I'm really excited to have him in our bowl game. He's a dynamic playmaker for them. We saw him at our Gridiron football camp earlier this offseason. I mean, he can really run. I mean, he ran at least a 4. I think he ran even the 4.4s, 4.5, 40. So this guy that can really run. And you see his speed on full display in that win against South Beauregard.
Alrighty. For number 5, we've got Woodlawn Baton Rouge wide receiver Alonzo Luckett with 1,096 votes.
Kind of like we talked about Jackson earlier, Sophie, a guy that we talk about his stat line, and it's all over the place. Like, it's going to take me a couple minutes just to go over the entire stat line, it seems like. But on defense, let's break it down here, show you how impressive he really was in their win. He had a pick 6 on defense for 60 yards, 60-yard pick 6 on defense. He had a rushing touchdown in the football game. He had 3 catches for 95 yards and 3 touchdowns receiving in the football game. So he had 160 yards of all-purpose yards and 5 touchdowns. And he scored those 5 touchdowns in 3 different ways: running, receiving, and on defense. So,
wow.
Yeah. all over the place. 45-15 win. They got the job done over Scotlandville, and Woodlawn's definitely a team, kind of like Liberty, a team not to really sleep on, and that can really bite you at any moment. And they did that against Scotlandville. Alonzo Luckett still has another year left. He's a 2027 receiver and can really make an impact for the Panthers this year and next year. And I'm sure Coach Tremone Douglas, Coach Marcus Randall are really excited to have him back for next year as well.
Alrighty. For number 4, we've got Vidalia wide receiver Elmari Lewis with 5,113 votes.
Another guy, Sophie, that keeps on being on this list every single week. Elmari Lewis is one of those names we pretty much expect to be on the list every week. He's had himself a really great season over there for Vidalia. In this game, they lost the football game to Gina, but Gina is a really good football team. I believe Gina only has one loss on the season. And Elmari Lewis did, like I said, just like we talked about Jerrison Reese earlier, did what all he had to do. Well, he could do to help his team. He had 10 catches for 260 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. Now that's receiving, so that is really impressive. They lose a football game 60-28, but he scored 3 of their 4 touchdowns in the football game and was definitely the main go-to guy for their offense. So you average 26 yards per catch, pretty much a quarter of the field every time he touched the ball. Is really good, and it's not only on like 2 or 3 catches. He did that on 10 catches, so he had a lot of catches. So that makes that stat line really impressive there. But 260 yards receiving, 10 catches, 3 touchdowns for Elmari Lewis.
Alrighty, now we are on our top 3, Jace.
Yeah, we're getting in there, top 3. This is when it really all boils down to, Sophie.
For number 3, we've got DeSalle wide receiver Gio Sanchez Jr. with 5,808 votes.
Yeah, Gio Sanchez from De La Salle had an interesting game, let's just say.
How so?
So the game was pretty interesting, Sophie, in this way. Well, at wide receiver, he had 4 catches for 54 yards and 2 touchdowns. Okay, all right, he had that receiving. But it was a little bit of a wrinkle added to it. So the kicker was injured for De La Salle. So he had to step up and play and kick.
Oh.
So he also made 6 extra points in the football game, plus being the receiver. He also punted for the first time ever. It's like, hey, might as well you go punt the football too. And then he punted the ball 3 times, 25 yards, 35 yards, and 30 yards. Average about 26 yards per kick, which ain't bad when you're kicking really for the first time.
Yeah.
And you win the football game 42-18 over LB Landry. So you made 6 extra points. You scored 2 touchdowns. You punted the ball, and you stepped up when your team needed you to step up. So
that's awesome.
I think that's a little bit of a switch up than the norm. So great performance there for Gio. He really stepped up when his team needed him to step up.
Alrighty, for number 2, we've got Picayune running back Xavier Dennis with 10,188 votes.
Yeah, Mississippi this week. Picayune High School, Mississippi. Trying to get that first Player of the Week this week
close.
to be out of state. So close this week. But Xavier Dennis, you had a great game for Picayune. 15 carries, 322 yards. 3 touchdowns, also had another touchdown on a 69-yard touchdown catch. So 391 total yards of offense, 4 total touchdowns. They won the football game 59-28 over Hancock. So great individual performance for Xavier Dennis. We had a lot of quarterbacks, running backs this week, and this is another one that had a great performance. I mean, 400 yards. You told me 390. If he threw the ball 391 yards and 4 touchdowns, that's like, okay, like you're being able to run it. But he ran for that, So that's what makes that really impressive, and that gets me tired just reading. Like, man, imagine running for 400 yards, 300 yards, like. Yeah, that's pretty tiring, I gotta admit.
It is.
But Xavier, awesome, man. Just want to say, give a shout out to Picayune High School. Yeah, coming up just short, but over 10,000 votes this week, and they did pretty much majority of their damage through voting this week, over 10,000 votes. So appreciate them for their support and voting for Xavier this week. But just came up short once again. So we're going to talk about our Gridiron Football Player of the Week. And I tell you what, it was kind of like Vanderbilt against LSU. They controlled this from the very beginning to the very end. This was pretty much dominated by this school that has won our Gridiron Football Player of the Week. We had, let's do a little bit of recap, Sophie. Let's see, we've had a quarterback. We've had maybe 2 quarterbacks, I think. It's been either quarterback or linebacker for most.
Yeah, a couple linebackers.
And then last week, when you weren't here, we had a running back win. So let's see, we go back-to-back with running back, or we go back to, defense. But it's been that type of week where it's been nothing but offense. So, Sophie, people have been waiting to announce who is the Gridiron Football Player of Week 7.
It is Albany's running back, Jonah Grove, with 19,725 votes.
Well, congratulations, Jonah. You have won the Gridiron Football Player of the Week, Jonah Grove from Albany High School in Albany, Louisiana. So congratulations, Jonah, on winning that award. I know a couple weeks ago, he was actually like our 16th guy that just missed the cut to be in our top 15. And might as well come in here for the first time and just win it all, right?
Why not?
That's a great way to do it. But Jonah Grove is a great player for Albany, and he actually was here when we talked about Coach Michael, Travis Michael, over there at Albany High School for a media day. He's a good friend of Andy's. They coached together at Southeastern together, and he's a guy that you'll be seeing at the end of the year. He's already committed. He's going to be playing their Gridiron Football All-American Bowl game. We'll actually have an announcement about that on our website, gridironfootballusa.com. Within the next couple of days, you'll see the announcement, the official announcement for his commitment. But Jonah, he's kind of like a fullback type, in a running. He's basically a running back in a fullback's body, if that makes any sense. But he's a versatile guy. Probably a guy that can play H-back, tight end, at the next level in college football. But he's a multi-tool guy. He can do a lot of different things. He can block, he can catch, he can run, which are really the key 3 things to do. So if he block, catch, and run in football. And let's talk about running the football. He had 240 yards rushing. So that's just rushing the football. And he had 149 yards receiving. So over 200 rushing, over 100 receiving, scored 3 total touchdowns, and they won the game in a shutout over Springfield, 46-0 over the Springfield Bulldogs. So this is a guy kind of like the heartbeat of their team, of their offense. A lot of things go through him, and he showed his versatility. I mean, when you run for 240 yards, you receive over 100 yards receiving. He had 2 Player of the Week type performances in one. You run for 240 yards, you're probably on this list. If you have over 149 yards receiving, you're probably on this list. And he did both in one game, and he also scored 3 touchdowns. So great way for Jonah to be on the list. Give a shout out to Albany High School, all the Hornets fans, able to sting the competition. So they really did. 19,725 votes overall. 15,875 were votes. 3,850 were donation votes, but a pretty good wide margin, by over 9,000 votes. So round of applause once again, Albany High School, and to Jonah Grove, our Gridiron Football Player of the Week for week number 7. I know Andy and Marcus talked about them on our Going Bowling show, about some of our commits, so you can check that out on our YouTube channel as well. So, Sophie, I bet you're probably wondering, probably asking me, what does he win? What is his prize?
What does he win, Jace?
Yeah, I didn't know you were going to ask me that, Sophie. So I guess the prize for Jonah, he'll get an interview with us for Gridiron Football. We'll talk to him and Coach Michael as well about their game, about their performance, and we'll talk to him more about that game. Jonah, these also came in, Sophie. The Letterman jacket patches all came in for 2025. I'm tired of showing the old ones. I'm finally get to say 2025. So coming up soon, a lot of our players that have already won Gridiron Football Player of the Week, you'll be getting a message from us pretty soon. It might be in the next week or so. We'll start the process of getting you these Letterman jacket patches. So we haven't forgotten about you, but these just came in. So once we figure that out, we'll give them your way. But Jonah will also be getting a Letterman jacket patch that says Gridiron Football Player of the Week. And because you won Gridiron Football Player of the Week, you also get a Letterman jacket patch for Gridiron Football Player of the Year if you're in the running. So he is in the running now for Gridiron Football Player of the Year, just like the others that have already won Player of the Week. So that will be voted by us, Sophie. Voting will be done in-house, so Sophie will handle the voting for that, as well as the coaches will handle the voting for Gridiron Football Player of the Year. We'll have the guys that won Player of the Week are eligible for Player of the Year, as well as some of the guys that have consistently, they haven't won, but they've consistently been on the list this year. And we'll do a vote to see who wins this one. This will be the gold Gridiron Football Player of the Year Letterman jacket patch. So Sophie, I know I talked a whole lot on the show, so what are your thoughts on all this and having once again, Louisiana is sweeping everybody right now.
Texas, come on, we gotta step up. But no, we have a lot of like the really versatile players on the list this week. The guys that are doing offense, defense, punting, like all in one. Pretty impressive.
Like a one-man show, huh?
Yeah, one-man band, as you said earlier.
Absolutely. So if you want to recap who's won Gridiron Football Player of the Week so far this year, we had Sandmont quarterback Cooper Babin, Pine linebacker Caden Stogner, Buckeye linebacker Ty Curtis. That was that run with all the linebackers. Grand Lake quarterback J.J. LeBeau. We had another linebacker, Lake Arthur linebacker Wyatt Monso. We had New Iberia running back receiver Kendrick John Lewis. And then this week we have Albany running back Jonah Grove. So, Sophie, any final thoughts before we wrap up today's show?
Just congrats to the boys. Y'all doing great.
Absolutely, Sophie. Thanks so much. Shout out to Roman for doing the video as well. I know Sophie and Roman will be putting the video together for Player of the Week. And just another reminder, we're winding down to the end of the regular season. Next week is going to be Week 8. Gridiron Football Player of the Week 8. Now we'll continue this through the playoffs. So after the regular season is over, we'll continue this through the playoffs. But if you know that you're maybe not going to make the playoffs, like you got 3 more weeks left to get a Player of the Week honor this week for Gridiron Football. So thank you to everybody that's donated, that's voted. If you haven't, subscribe to our channel. We got a lot of great content, a lot of great interviews. We got highlights, we got shows, you name it. So make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our numbers have really risen the last couple of weeks on our YouTube channel, so we're pretty excited about that. Continue that, and just go to our website. It's right above our heads. It's not hard to miss it. It's Gridiron Football. There you go. Good job, Sophie. GridironFootballUSA.com. That is where you can find us, GridironFootballUSA.com. Thank you guys so much. And just a reminder for coaches and fans that we'll begin nominations for Week 8 this week on Friday. We'll continue nominations through Monday. Monday at noon, all nominations will close. We'll narrow down to 15 nominees, and we'll just vote for the remainder of the week to see who is Gridiron Football Player of the Week. Voting will close on Thursdays at 9, and then we'll have the show, as always, at 5 o'clock on YouTube and Facebook.
When's the last time to do the pay for votes?
Yeah, good job, Sophie. Thank you for reminding me of that.
The donations.
So the donation votes, as Sophie mentioned, that is an hour before 9 o'clock. So that'll be 8 o'clock in the morning. So donation votes in at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we'll let the voting happen another hour at 9 o'clock, and that is when all votes will end at 9 o'clock. So thank you for reminding me about that, Sophie.
Of course, that's why you keep me around.
Exactly. That's why I keep you around, to keep me on my toes and make sure I'm not making too much of a fool of myself, as I usually do. So, Sophie, thank you so much. Been another great show.
Thank you, Jace.
Oh, absolutely. Been another fun show. Roman, appreciate you, man, as well, filming the show, too. Guys, thank y'all for watching. Enjoy your football weekend, and we'll see you next week for Gridiron Football Players Week show for Week 8.